Hello, I'm Danny Toolkire Hafen, here once again broadcasting the Collegiate Finals of League of Legends. I am here with my good friend Visions.
How's it going, guys? My name is Visions. Super excited to get in today's matches.
Yes, we had a great day yesterday. Two incredible best-of-3 series. Two teams went home. Two are advancing. Here's that bracket. Illinois upset the first seed and the previous champions of Maryville, and now they are going to have to face Columbia tomorrow, who also defeated University of Texas Dallas.
Yeah, super excited to see what today's games bring us. Yesterday, we saw some crazy mechanical plays, very good teamwork, a lot of 5v5 fighting, and yeah, we saw some upsets. So cannot wait to see what we get today, and hopefully we get some new champions. But overall, I'm just ready for a whole bunch of great games overall.
Same here, same here. So just for those who don't know, we are watching the event live without sound to produce our own amateur broadcast, to improve our skills and to give a different perspective of what is happening and how these games are being won or lost in champ select, in team fights, and in overall gameplay. Thank you for watching us. I know you'll have a great time. We do. And this game is about to get underway. But tell me about these students. What do they have to do to get here?
Yeah, I mean, like to talk about the students' lives, like a lot of us, a lot of the viewers kind of look at these guys' lives and think, wow, these guys are playing League of Legends, they're getting to perform, the top 8 colleges and universities out of 300 teams. But ultimately, when you actually think about it, these guys still have to maintain their grades, still have to maintain everyday schooling, as well as like part-time jobs and, some of them even full-time jobs. So, that plays a factor. That takes a toll on not only how much time you put into the game, but that takes a toll on how well you might perform. So overall, it's a lot to think about. A lot of these colleges and universities haven't fully actually supported these students yet on what they're doing with their dream and what they're accomplishing. So it's a lot to take in, and it's a lot of stress as well as pressure on these guys.
Yeah, the Collegiate League only started back in 2014, and that first year was basically all clubs. Not a single school really had complete backing to their team and to the efforts these students were putting in. We'll talk about that more later. Right now, Champ Select is starting. Ottawa on the red, University of California, Ivern on the, Ottawa on the blue, Ivern on the red, and yesterday we were seeing a lot of AD carry first picks or jungler first picks, and I expect to see that again today, and I'm hoping to see a Trundle or Olaf ban in the next 4 bans.
Yeah, we definitely saw a lot of first pick viruses. I believe a few times came through there for, I believe it might have been Illinois or Columbia, one of the two. But overall, we saw some ADCs coming through first pick, and then we also saw Aurelia also being able to take over the game. So I'd be very surprised if Aurelia ends up getting through for the first pick for Ottawa. But overall, yeah, we're most likely going to see some jungle bans, and this Aurelia will be most likely a high priority pick as well.
Especially because it can be flexed mid or top. It's dangerous in both lanes. It can control the game from both places. And it has great synergy with the jungler, with the CC and the mobility that champion brings. We have seen the Talia ban, which yesterday just completely took over one game, and we haven't really seen it since. And the Rakan ban is leftover from MSI from patch 8.8, being the strongest champ and one of the most prevalent picks and bans in those times. With this first pick, I'm expecting a first pick Olaf. He's the strongest jungler up, unless this team has practiced the grades and wants to bring that in. We haven't seen it yet, only 1 ban so far in the games played this end game tournament.
Yeah, and it looks like they end up locking in their Aurelia there, so they do have the flex. Like I said, really strong champion, so much kill pressure, and then you have the silent pressure for actually split pushing when you have the Baron up, and you can just cause so much pressure on the map. So really like to see that. We're going to see the Vladimir come through, and we most likely will see a jungler come through, like that Olaf you were talking about. Someone who's very strong. We saw Olaf be very effective yesterday for Illinois, as someone who can basically get on the back line and constantly be that threat. without getting CC'd. It's so hard to peel him off. But we are actually going to see Ezreal come through.
Ezreal is still very strong with the double tier build. Um, Looking forward into the draft, the two most successful supports so far have been Braum and Taric. Braum being quite a bit easier to play his game style, but has lost quite a few games to the Taric. So we'll see if that one of those two picks is picked up by the teams before the second round of pick ban. The Vladimir is that flex pick, and oh well, here comes the Braum for for Lotus.
Yeah, that Braum coming through, very strong champion, so much CC in that kit, as well as just someone who can block so much damage. But yesterday we saw Taric quite a bit as well, so I'm curious to see if Bloodwater has that in his champion pool. We saw that be very effective, but I mean, as it is, it looks like with you have Vladimir and Ezreal, a lot of self-peel, a lot of mobility for those two. So it looks like we're going to see an engaged jungler, and I love this. I absolutely love this. This is a champion that can pull the trigger, a champion that can get on objectives, get on the backline, and is always a threat. So love to see this pick coming out, and I really want to see how Youngbin ends up performing on this Zac, because there's a lot of pressure for you to make the engages and you to make the shot calls.
So with the Varus ban, there is very few AD carries left that have effective magic damage. Corgi would be the only one bot lane. So if they try to put Irelia in the mid and take a tank top, they will be very heavily forced physical damage as a team for Ottawa, making it so Youngbin on his Zac and any other tanky member on Ivern will have an easy time making their magic resist, well, not needed, and their armor heavily stacked.
Yeah, absolutely. And because of this high AD heavy team, maybe it's most likely going to be an Aurelia put top. They did ban the Ornn as well. Just a champion that has a lot of CC as well, which will just increase the engage with the Zac. So right now the draft looks like they are just trying to pinch the AD carry pool, just because they obviously have went to the second phase and have not locked in an AD. So we'll definitely see an ADC coming through for as far as what's top tier on the table. Varus as well as Caitlyn's banned, and the Ezreal's been taken away. So what do you see coming out here
Tom
for
Kench
Ottawa?
would be the safest, but we could have, I was about to say, a ranged support to give that lane pressure Ezreal has and get Zac to where he can get his long-range engages safely on people who've been poked down. I am hoping to see Kog'Maw. It was not picked very often by North America or European teams, but it has seen a lot of... I'll stop talking about the Kog'Maw. We got the Xayah.
Xayah and hovering the Malphite, which would be a nice champion that can pull the trigger as well. So if they do lock in the Malphite, that most likely will be in Aurelia mid. So they would be lacking a little bit of AP. So unless Malphite builds AP, which is very unlikely, but still possible, they are lacking quite a bit of AP. And I'd be very surprised if they don't just pick up another tank for top and then put Vladimir mid and then just stack a bunch of armor. And there's the Singed.
Yes, that Singe is going to be incredibly difficult, incredibly annoying. One thing I want to talk about, the Malphite, this is 2 patches ago. This is the patch that these teams qualified on for this tournament to prove them the best in North America for the collegiate screen. Malphite had a very popular build of Trinity Force top lane to help them take care of tanks. But I'm not sure how effective that will be against Captain Nuke's Singed. It will give him move speed to keep up with them. Malphite does still move speed with his Glacier Shard. So there is possibilities for a strong gank with Graves to burst him down before he gets too tanky. But if they don't make that happen, there is very little that they can do to stop this Singe split push in the mid-late game.
Yeah, absolutely. And now that we have both drafts, all the champions have been selected, and we're about to hop onto the Rift, what team do you think is going to end up pulling ahead here? Who's going to take game 1? What are your predictions?
I think UC Ivern has this game. Vladimir's teamfight potential in the late game is so strong. They have the better mixed damage, Ezreal scales really strong in the late game as well with the double tier build. And with Janna, they can disengage quite easily after a Malphite engages, and then just turn on him and rip him to shreds with the load of damage they have. Also, they have Let's Bounce. That can always just ult out anybody who comes in if the Janna ult is unsuccessful. And then they have Kite Back Forever. Running through the Singe Poison will just ruin University of Ottawa. And so that's why I think they will win.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to touch on. The amount of peel and even self-peel on this team is just incredible, and it's going to be very hard to deal with. It's going to be extremely hard for this Aurelia to really lock on to one target. So you might see a lot of split pushing coming out of Backpack. I'm curious to see how it ends up going down. But ultimately, across the lanes, I would really like to see how this Graves is right now for as far as affecting the early games. This is a champion that really can put a lot of priority on getting a lot of early jungle pressure like he is right now. Obviously, there's nothing that Young Bin can really do. He's going to get poked out. Nuke's going to be here just in case, though, but he's going to keep on going. Wow, he's looking to pop the passive here. This is extremely aggressive. Going to flash out now. Might go down. Wow, that was extremely aggressive. I mean, ultimately, you're only ever going to get the passive, and you know that other people are collapsing, but this isn't just it. Now we have a flash out from Vladimir, also getting out of there, going to get ignited. So quite the action early. A lot of summoners going down, and this is looking like it's going to lead up to quite the good game here.
Yes, one of the costs for Ottawa is how much Psychonics is going to be pushed off the wave, how much experience and CC score he's going to have denied him. And they're, even now, Janna is poking off Lotus from getting in correctly. So I think University of California won that. They used less sums, they got more bot lane, and this is a bot lane meta, or has been since the MSI patch.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point to touch on. Really curious to see how they end up blowing or using these summoners to their advantage here. Obviously, Vladimir having no summoners. Once he hits level 3, he has the pool, which makes him very effective for getting out of ganks. But I really want to see this Graves constantly punish, and he's probably going to try to keep punishing Zach. You know, he's the champion that doesn't actually have the skirmishing power to match him. So that's really what you expect from Graves, is someone who's always in your face and just being a nuisance, and you're always calling help from your laners.
But to punish Zach in his own jungle, you need lane priority. And I don't think Malphite will get it on Singe. I don't think Braum and Zaya will get it versus the Ezreal and Janna of Bloodwater and Lutman. So he might just have to keep power farming and fight at the scuttles, because other than there, I don't see him being able to safely invade with his flash already gone.
And ultimately, we're just going to see the Scuttle Crab go down here, and he's going to be spotted out on ward. We're going to see Aurelia go a bit aggressive here. Really nice trade coming in from Backpack here. And going to get out, taking minimal damage. No health pots actually available for Vlad because of that early skirmish that happened there, level 1. So advantage, and the wave is looking really good right now for Backpack, in an excellent position with the Ignite also. And you're just going to see the back come through, but the freeze is now in the mid lane. This is an awful spot right now. Awful spot.
Yeah, that is so perfect for Backpack. Hopefully he can carry his team to a victory, because if they don't get it before the 35-minute mark, I can't see them taking down the tanks of University of California Ivern with all the self-heals, with the tankiness, and with the shields from Janna. What I want to touch on really quickly is the rune choices. We have Predator on Vladimir. That became very popular with the Shurelia's first item build to give you the equivalent of Ghost, but up more often and more effectively.
And we're going to see a bit of a gank here, and should be nothing of it. Pool is just going to come out, but just more pressure. And this is what's really unfortunate. Not only are you losing in CS, and not only are you getting pressured extremely hard, but now you're getting ganked and you're getting poked out a bit, which means that you're putting kill pressure on yourself, or you're getting kill pressure because of the Aurelia. So, but in return, we do have the bot lane getting shoved in, and they're just getting poked down by this Ezreal Janna lane.
Yeah, that is what is to be expected. Lotman is running teleport instead of the heal, and it will be really incredible for him to get that super early tier if he backs here in about 15 seconds. I'm not a personal fan of the teleport, though it has shown effectiveness in the hands of the greatest teams with their coordination and shot calling. Hopefully we can see University of California emulate that. These are up-and-coming players trying to make a name for themselves, and they can all kick my butt in the 1v1, so I shouldn't get too much after them.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, they're all here for a reason. They're all great players. It's just how well they are as a team. And ultimately, yesterday, we saw some really good team play, but also some really bad team play. And it's really going to come down to who's more united as a team. Ultimately, sometimes it doesn't matter how good you are mechanically, but how you work together as a unit. And we're going to see this Graves also power farming up and getting a little bit ahead of Zach right now for as far as the level advantage.
There is one other thing we need to touch on that could have a huge factor today, and that's nerves. It's a big stage, it's a big tournament, it means a lot, and yesterday we saw a jungler buy 2 Balming Cinders, which don't stack and was terrible, and we saw a top laner go to lane without items. These teams can have just as many jitters as the team yesterday.
We're also going to see a gank here. Back going a little bit low. We should walk out. And yeah, you can go ahead and continue with the top laner there. I think it was must win or we win, I believe. Or
yeah, Will win from Texas Dallas when he played the Malphite, forgot to buy, and it made his life very, very difficult versus the Yasuo top. It was a fun game to watch, very bloody, very quick.
Absolutely, and we're going to see lots of damage go through here. We're just going to see them all back out and reset, though. But Graves just trying to get in their face, just trying to put out as much damage as possible.
And one last thing quickly on the scaling that California has in their backpack. They are running the exhaust on Janna. With her build, with her summoners, and expected items, she will have that up in the late game like every 2 minutes, and it'll make Backpack's life so difficult when he dives, or Zeri if he gets in deep, where the ignites are good to stop the healing of the Vladimir, but it's not as impactful in that ultimate team fight.
Yeah, we're going to see a big engage here. We also have Youngren down here looking for the engage. It's not going to find anything yet, but he's going to land the Q. He's going to see if he can do anything more. Has 6. Going to find the ulti. Going to find 2. Huge play by him. That's going to be first blood going over to Youngbin. But we're going to see more, and that's going to be 2 going down. TP's going to get canceled. Really nice gank. They went too aggressive at the wrong time. Their jungler was on the top side of the map, so there was just too over aggressive, and they paid for it.
I'm so happy to see the crowd shot. It was covered by my face. Sorry, but University of California, they brought their friends. They have the crowd in their favor and cheering for them hard. Ottawa, we still want you to win. We still want you to have a good game. Technically, I want all the teams to win. I want the 6-game 3v3 best of 5s to happen, but those can't happen. It's not allowed.
We're going to see a flash forward here. Just a flash for flash there, getting really low, and Nuke's going to have to walk out and base there. But you can see this Graves, there he is not afraid to get up in these guys' faces, and he is extremely aggressive, and I love it. But here's the replay. Over-aggressive at the wrong time, sadly, and it ended up costing them.
Yeah. They missed all their CC. The Braum Q, they pull back on the feathers, none of it hit. Lots of damage to miss out on, and they just got run down by the long-range Zac. That teleport needed to be called for at least 6 seconds earlier, but probably couldn't be done because Singe was so close to him in lane.
Yeah, exactly, and he would have been able to match that for sure. And now we're in a position where Iron does actually have a bit of a gold lead here. They have a little bit more control. And now Backpack is in a situation where he's not able to fully take over till he gets a few more items. But this is a tough spot for this bot lane. I just want to see Zac kind of move towards his bot lane, look to camp them, and do as much as he can. Obviously, the Braum and Zaya do have a lot of CC as well as the Featherstorm to actually block that. But ultimately, I would really like to see Zac just try and prioritize bot lane and just start to snowball it even harder.
So at this point, with the superior gold and tempo, I want to see University of California go and get this Ocean Drake, make Singe so much more tanky and have so much more pressure in the late game, and also let Ezreal have all the poke he needs to get his tiers built up that much quicker. it should be priority, in my opinion, for them, even before first turret. I don't see any of their turrets being endangered by the University of Ottawa. So hopefully they've got some vision. I don't think they're going to make it happen, though. The movements of their team just doesn't look like it, but I would have called that, and it's something, as a coach, I'd tell them to work on later between the two games.
Yeah, and touching on that Ocean Drag, that's a really good point. That is actually a huge objective, especially for this Ezreal and that Cinch. Champions that rely a lot on mana. And I mean, the health regen, obviously, no one is ever going to complain about either once you get that. So that is a really good point. I really would like to see them go for that. They have the vision control, they have the lane priority to go and do it. It's just a matter of Zach actually starting it, and it looks like they're pinging it out right now as well. But we have a bit of a gank, actually. We're going to see Zeri moving towards here. I don't think he should be in danger. Maybe he does have the ultimate, looking for more. He's going to find it there. Really well played right there. And that's going to be Vladimir going down, and they're going to push the wave in, and now they're turning the pressure around.
So in spectator mode, it's hard to appreciate how devastating that smoke screen can be, how annoying it can be, but I still think Desecration needed to flash earlier or needed to pull earlier. He held on too long, and that was an avoidable death.
Absolutely, it was. He could have flashed. Yeah, I mean, he definitely held on to it way too long there. I mean, he could have seen Graves and flashed right away and got out and would have had half health and could have stayed for the wave. So really a lot of greed. But as you said earlier, maybe it comes down to the nerves. Maybe it comes down to the pressure that these guys are under. As we see Singe move here towards mid lane, looks like Backpack's going to walk out and be just fine, though.
So, luckily, he still has his flash. There is play and pressure, still being able to recover here. A lot of the teams yesterday showed tenacity. They showed determination to not roll over and die, even after giving up 2 kills before 4 minutes and double bust to the enemy mid laner. And I think that these teams today also have that tenacity and will show us the mental of which they're made of.
Yeah, absolutely. And Youngbin's in a bit of a spot. He's going to halt out, and the Braum multi's going to come through there, and he's going to walk out and just be fine. And he's going to look for the back, so they're not going for the Ocean Drag just yet.
So we already have 1 Shirelia's on Captain Nuke. I'm expecting another from Desecration soon. I do not like the double Shirelias. I would prefer the tankiness of a Righteous Glory on Singe personally, but the item cost benefit of the Shirelias is undeniable. It's just not as strong as a late game item or a personal item.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point coming out there. And as we look at these junglers, they both have their jungle items complete. So big spikes coming out here as we see a bit of an invade. And this is going to be the Zac leap actually used here. And the slingshot's going to be used. He's got the flash out right there. So it's just, I guess that's a little bit greedy. You got to think you don't know where Aurelia is. You don't know where Graves is. And now he's losing his whole top side.
The Graves' superior jungling is showing now. This is the early game where they can make things happen. Zac undeniably will be very strong in the late game as well. We're almost to the point of the banner minions as well.
Well, and we're going to see an all-in here. Pool's going to come out, so he's not going to get disarmed. He's trying to walk out. That flash is going to come through. But this is going to be a follow flash by Backpack, looking to try and clean him up, running really low here, seeing if he can find him. Sun's not going to land just yet, and he's going to walk out right there. That was extremely close. I believe getting the heal off the ultimate right there. But wow, was that ever close.
He also got the move speed from the Predator to escape there. We didn't get to see the icon over the heads of his opponents. They weren't on the screen, but we did see it pop on his boots in the item selection area. What I was going to say about that banner is that is the one thing that University of Ottawa have for pressure for their team. The Vladimir, the Singe, and the Zac cannot kill that banner minion very effectively at all. Singe has to clear all the other minions and let his minions kill that banner minion. Hopefully those will result in towers for Ottawa, but not for a while because Singe still has his minion dematerializes, and if he goes and proxies the wave like he does now, before Jokin even gets to banner up the minion, that is a great strategy that I had not thought of.
Absolutely. That's a great point to think on. And now this is where Malphite basically just sits here and just has a clear wave after wave as his tower slowly gets diminished. But this is the annoying part of Singed. And actually, this is going to be on a ward here. And this could be an all-in. Nuke might be in a bad spot. Might have to pop out, but he's going to pop the Shirley. His ultimate's going to come through. Nice flash, though. But now we have Backpack looking for more, but the sidestep's going to come through, and he's going to walk out. Holy, unbelievable play right there. Nuke may be in a tough spot, but ultimately, he's not going to go down, but the action's not over just yet. Featherstorm's going to come through, not going to find anything just yet. Youngbin's going to walk out, but this is now a first tower going over to Ivory.
And I hope they go straight towards that Ocean Drake. They have the time. They have the TP from Captain Nuke if they need to. Mid lane's not in that much threat, and Zach has started it, so it's quite a bit later than I would have hoped, but eventually they are grabbing that Ocean Drake, and it still will be very useful to them in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. The Rift is, however, going to be traded. Yesterday, we saw Rift being used whenever it was captured. It was used very prematurely. As soon as they captured, it was being dropped in almost the first 30 seconds, almost every time I think we saw it yesterday. So I really would like to see a little bit more of a thought-out play, and we're going to see a bit of a replay here. You can just see Captain Nuke just flash in the Malphite ulti, really nice play, and then he's going to sidestep the Aurelia stun, and he's just going to walk out of there, and you do not chase a Singed, and they know better not to.
Yes, immaculate play. Backpack expected Captain Nuke to dodge back when his stun came out. Captain Nuke just went straight for it and no hesitation and got out because of it. The mind games of the upper echelons of League of Legends. Sometimes you just do what a noob would do and they're not expecting you to do it.
Absolutely, and now we are going to see the lane swap. So we're in a position where we're hitting close to that 20-minute mark. It's a few minutes away when the Nashor's going to spawn. What are both teams trying to execute right now? Are they waiting for spikes? Are they looking to just keep pressuring the towers? Is this Ezreal and Janna? Should Zach keep playing around that? What are your thoughts?
The Zach needs to make sure Graves does not kill people. If he does that, he is doing his job. He doesn't need to dive. They don't need to be super aggressive. Ezreal and Janna are winning their lane and getting towers and getting gold, and their team has the late game scaling. So like I said, Zach just needs to make sure Graves doesn't kill people, and I'm happy for California. For Ottawa, what they need to do is they need to get a Malphite ult on a immobile target. The problem is there's only one of those, the Janna. But if Malphite can ult and Zachary with Graves flash in and wombo combo her in that time frame, the fight is easily won.
Yeah, we're going to see actually a bit of an engage here. Youngbane's looking to pop off the ulti here, but not going to find anything just yet. Going to pop over. There's going to be a double TP coming through. Malphite does have ulti. We're going to see a stun coming through there on Youngbane, but now we have a fight in the river, and that's going to be one going down. Now trying to get out, going extremely low. We're not going to see the flash go through, though, and this is going to be the ADC walking out, but now we have more damage come through. That's going to be Lotus going down next. It's going to be the stun coming through. Backpack is too late to the fight. Not going to find anything. Few kills go down for Ivern, and this should be a tower.
And Jokin had to use his ult defensively. They weren't respecting the Zac engage. This is so hard for Ottawa right now. They need to recompose themselves or they're going to lose this game within the next 5 minutes with the Baron coming up soon and all the pressure that is being made. And right now, with Zac and the two Shirelias, if the University of California want to fight, they'll get it. And that was one they got because it was so optimal. And I appreciate their pulling the trigger there.
Yeah, this is really nice by Youngbin, getting up in the top side, unseen, no vision spotted on him, and he's just zoning ult coming out, and there's just nothing whatsoever they can do. They're in a bad spot, and this is just well played by them overall. Really well team play. Malphite ulti does have to come out basically defensively on the end there just to walk out, but few kills going down. Gold lead is just extending, and like you said, the Baron is coming up in 50 seconds, and that's the big objective that we have our eyes on, and there is now almost close to a 4K gold lead for Ivern over Ottawa.
So Captain Nuke just used his minion dematerializer, which was very well for him to save so many stacks this late in the game still. And Yolkin has his, is saving them, expecting a banner, but University of California says we don't need it. We'll just get the tanky stacks and beat you elsewhere. And he's really limited on what he can buy and what parts of items he can buy as he sits on those. And if they never build a banner, it's just wasted.
Yeah, exactly. If you're holding on to the materializer stacks, it's obviously so effective once you get to the later stages. And now we're going to see the Rift Herald drop. I believe it was dropped simply because he was running out. There was no setup, but we're going to see an engage come through. Really nice Braum ulti coming out though. We're going to see more damage going to destruction, but it looks like he's trying to walk out. Rift Herald should go down though. Not going to find any damage on the tower. And that was unfortunately a bad trade. Ultimately, that happened about 5 or 6 minutes ago with the Rift for the Ocean Drag that turned into nothing.
Very well done by Desecration there. Got his pull out quickly, got his ult out, got all his health back. Ottawa could not move forward. Seconix is not at the point where he can rip through people yet. He's building the crit items, but only has one yet.
Yeah, but now we're going to see an engage here. This is going to be the Zac ulti coming through, trying to pull them back. Let's Bounce is only going to find one. We're going to see the Malphite ulti. They're going for the dive. They're going to find one. Bloodwater's going to go down. They're going to see if they can find anything more. But now Zachman has a cooldown on his Elastic Slingshot, so he most likely will not look for anything. But that will be a 1-for-0 for Ottawa, finally finding something good on the back end of that engage.
I said earlier, the only person that they can engage on is the Janna, and they went all in there, got something back. Hopefully they can stop the momentum of California, be prepared to fight around the Baron, and make their life a little less difficult, and hope for that awesome team fight with all their front-end bursts.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really nice to see them react like that. They did not just get scared, back up. They ended up pulling the trigger, going for the Janna, going for that target that they can kill. And we're going to see a quick replay here. Young Bin going for the engage, only found one, but unfortunately it was the Braum that he ulted back. The only target you do not want to get. Lotus uses the shield, backs up, and they just blow up Janna. Nothing she can do.
So I'm very saddened by Zeri's Graves build. He is going towards the Trinity Force, and with all the physical damage you have on your team versus all the tankiness of University of California, he should have got the Black Cleaver for his team to mitigate the armor as best they could. That's just bad choices right there, and he did get the Executioner's Calling, but it's still not enough to make me happy with him.
Yeah, he might be. I mean, he definitely could be the Trinity Force. It might just be building a mix of items too. But as that, we're gonna have Nuke actually in a tough spot, and he's gonna flash out, and he should be just okay. And it looks like the Air Dragon should be taken here by Iron. Don't think there's gonna be any kind of contest. Nothing that should be able to take it away. Should be secured, and that's gonna be another Dragon going over to increase the movement speed a little bit more.
Talking about Jung Bin's build right now, he has the Warmog Cinder Hulk. Zac is one of the few champions that can build those two items and still activate the passive on Warmogs. After that change that happened back in like 8.6, 8.7. And I'm hoping he'll build a Knight's Vow next to help make sure other champions on his team cannot be instantly popped, giving Janna the time to heal and shield. There isn't very much else that he needs to build to have his team have the fights they want to continue to play this game to their desire. I'm being way too wordy. Sorry. Somebody throw a dictionary at me.
And now as we go forward here, we do have both mid lane turrets still alive. So this is ultimately just going to be two waves shoving back and forth until someone decides to pull the trigger. We've seen Youngbin pull it over and over again, so there's no hesitation that way. But right now they're just going to be fighting for a lot of mid control, and we're going to see maybe a bit of an engage here, just some poke damage going down. But both teams trying to secure mid control as well as secure vision. But we're going to see an ultimate come through right now. That's going to be Zeri going popped right now, right away, and we're going to see Lotus now in a tough spot, and then we're going to see Desperation try to find anything more. We're not going to see the flash out yet. Youngmin might have the Elastic Slingshot coming out here, might be able to find a few targets. Going to find one, and that's going to be Braum going down next. Lotus going down. There's going to be more damage going through. Zac Let's Bounce going to pull off another one. This is going to be a Baron. Amazing play coming through right there, and now the Baron's going to be secured, and now this is the point where if they get this is where they take over the game and just put their foot to the gas.
Beautiful Shurelias and Predator activation by Desecration, getting in there, popping the Graves. They had no place to go but to run.
And now we're going to see more damage come through back in a really tough spot, as well as Jokin. Don't think they can do anything. They're going to find maybe one to trade back and forth here, but ultimately this should still be the Baron. That man actually going pretty low here, but Janna ult should come through, should be fine. Don't think Jokin can really do anything here, but he's trying to look for more. I don't think there's any way he takes this away. But we actually do have Zeri here. He might have the flash to maybe take this. He's going to look for the 50-50 smite, though. He's trying to get it. He's not going to find it just yet. But now it's going to go down. That's going to be Ezreal finding 2 as well as the Baron. Ultimately secured and more gold going over to Ivan.
So critical of California there. Holding their nerve, getting the kills, not letting it get into smite range for the Zeri. And that probably will be the game. After giving up those 2 extra kills, trying to get the steal, the mental fortitude would have to be immaculate to be able to stay in this game and come back now. And they might just have to start thinking what to do next game. What can we do to win, improve our pick and bans, improve our level 1 strats, not waste our flash on the Graves. Oh, beautiful fighting, though, from University of California, Ivern.
Yeah, really nice team fighting. Really well done. And this is just going to be now, look at the Ezreal damage that's coming through, and this is just insane. True Shot Barrage is going to get blocked by the Braum Shield, by another turret going down, and they're just going to start knocking turrets by turrets as they have pressure in every single lane, and they're not short of any engaged tools. You know, Zach is there, and they have the peel, and this is what we talked about at the beginning of the game. It's so hard for them to get on these targets when you have so much self-peel, but on top of that, you have the Janet with the Monsoon, and you have the Tornado. It's like, how do you get on these targets and kill the carries?
Yeah. I'm not enjoying this Malphite. There must be some sort of evidence in scrims that makes it show up so often already in this tournament, but I feel something like a Scion who can't be denied with his ultimate, or Maokai would have been a better choice to make the fights happen. Yes, you're playing around your flash, but a flash snare cannot be flashed out of like the Malphite ultimate. And here, playing on the 8 ping, playing on this biggest stage, it's really easy to flash that Malphite ult.
Yeah, we're going to see Desecration actually getting this turret really low, and this might be the base being broken. Backpack is no longer able to deal with him, and now Zeri is going to have to come down, but because of that, they now lose the tier 2. And you can just see, but we're going to have a bit of a fight here. Zeri going extremely low. It's going to be a 1v4. It's going to find 1. So close to finding 2, and as they're doing all of that, we're just going to see more and more turrets going down. But ultimately, this is just like it's just going to be game over. There's not much you can do in this situation besides try and stall out somehow. But they're knocking turret after turret.
Malphite ultimate is up. He might be able to get something sneaky in. There are critical flashes down on University of California Ivern, but they're just backing, playing it safe. Latman went the Blade of the Rune King for the earlier power spike. We'll see what his 4th item is if he decides to go that tier, but it's so late in the game. He's just going Armor Pen, finishing this game off as cleanly, as quickly as they can, making a statement for the rest of this tournament, if at all possible.
Yeah, this is going to be the point where you're kind of sitting on Ottawa and you're wondering, well, there's not much we can really do this game. We're just basically being suffocated. So do you start thinking about your draft? Do you start thinking about the next game as this game is over a 10K gold lead? I mean, like, honestly, they drafted so much attack damage that they don't actually have the AP to really put out. And you can just see in the item builds that they're just building all armor. And it's just so difficult to do anything because you can't put out the damage because of the damage reduction.
Yeah, I was trying to talk about the Kog'Maw as a possible AD carry. It was very popular, well, at least present, in the Demacia Cup and in the Korean scene. It's not favored in solo queue right now at all. They might not have as much practice as they'd like, but it's still a very strong champion. It is still something you can build the team around to win late game fights. And right now, the Xayah, without the help of a Rakan and without the help of mixed damage, cannot get through the tanks and cannot protect herself from the heavy engage of California.
Exactly. There's just not much you can really do about it. You're just in a tough spot. I definitely think the draft was a bit of an issue this game. However, the game is not over yet. Miracles can happen. And as we see that Baron power play there, almost close to 6K gold. And that's just insane. Really well played by them. And now this is actually Zeri in a really tough spot. It looks like Youngman's going to walk out here. Lots of damage coming through. Two-shot barrage is going to land onto a few. Arcane shift coming through, though. Zeri's going to be going down. And this is going to be an ultimate coming through. And this is going to be the ADC now trying to get out. But we can see new content for the AD. Going to find one. Now looking for Jokin. But as we talk about that, we have Backpack in a tough spot, too. Monsoon's going to come through. Going to push him back. But he's going to go down. This is the last one alive. And this is basically going to be the game. Jokin is the last one. He might be able to get out with the Malphite ulti. But as we talk about this, they just ran over them. They should be the game. And now you have to look at this team and think the draft must have went wrong. You know, what do you do going into game 2? Do you draft? You have to draft some new things. You have to.
And it wasn't just one in the draft. We saw Zeri just 30 seconds before that fight finish his Black Cleaver, but he was delayed 600 gold by those 2 daggers when he was considering instead going for a Trinity Force. And who knows, would have that made the difference? Would have they won fights? Possibly, but they need to compose themselves. They need their coach to help them, to give them the words of advice, to play it better, to calm down, win the macro, win the thought process.
Yeah, absolutely. The mentality is extremely important, especially when you're on stage like this, and you just have to make sure you go back, you do not tilt, you go in with a fresh mindset, and you come out with maybe a little bit more AP, preferably in the draft. I think that Zeri actually played decently well in the early game, but he started to fall behind a bit once they got to the later stages. He wasn't able to match the damage. He was just getting jumped on. So would like to see a bit of a change up, but that's the right thing to say, is just make sure that they have the right mindset going into the next game, because the series is not over.
Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll get this game up ASAP. We'll have the second game up about 20 minutes after it is done as well. And let's keep having a great day of League of Legends. This has been a great day 2 so far, and we will have 2 more great days in tomorrow and Sunday as well. Thank you, and have a good break here.
In game 2, guys.